Hello, Heights Church. It's Pastor Tim, and I want to bring you the Devo for today. Now, we are in Proverbs chapter 1. I want to talk to you something about this idea that we find in chapter 1, verses 20 through the end of the chapter. And it's simply put, and the way they say it is you feast on or you feed on the fruit that you produce. In other words, you reap what you sow. But it's in a really interesting context. And let me just set it up by saying this. The last few weeks, in all transparency, have been difficult weeks. Just, a lot at home, a lot of responsibilities, got cars I'm trying to fix, and, work. And I mean, you're just trying to juggle it all. You get it. You live that just like I do. And so sometimes when all of that collides, right, it becomes overwhelming, right? And everything is just piling on. And in that, I found at times in the last couple of weeks that I would say things like, I'm just going to push through, or, whatever it takes. And you just kind of try to do it on your own effort. And I would sit and think about and plan, if I do this and I do that and this comes together, and, and I just basically plan all of these ideas, and then I water them and I watch them grow. And I'll be honest with you, not a lot of it worked out. And I started to process and think about that, this idea that we have a choice. I have a choice. I could walk in my own power, or I could choose to walk at the side of Jesus. And my own ideas on their best day, these for the last couple of weeks have not been good. I just been operating on my own, and what I noticed was like my attitude and the way I talk to people and different things. It just really wasn't. It wasn't who God created me to be, and it was really coming from the fact that I was reaping the fruit that I was producing. I wasn't, leaning on God, and I wasn't looking to Him. And so out of that, right, that's what I was living in. Is this just it was like rotten fruit. It didn't taste good, didn't feel good. And then, man, I don't know, it was probably Friday, so just last week, I just had to clear my head and realize, like, Lord, I know you have something more for me. And I know I need to listen to you. It just fit really nicely with this verse. It starts out talking about wisdom. In other words, like God's ways, His ideas, right? It says, wisdom shout in the streets. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowd along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gate. So it's this idea like it's available. It's being cried out. God's saying, I have all this for you, right? But yet then it goes on, and the word is, how long will you simpletons insist on being simple-minded? Meaning this, all this is available. Why do we keep choosing? I wish I knew that answer. But we do have a choice. And that's what it was for me. I had to take my thoughts captive. I had to take my actions captive and say, you know what? I know the Lord has something more for me. I know He does. And I know that fruit is delicious. That fruit satisfies. It's the sweetest of fruits. The fruit I produce in my own ideas and my own will, it's sour. It's rotten. It's not good, right? And so this kind of the whole text just talks about this idea that you and I, we will eat the fruit we produce. So we can produce the fruit that God offers. We can pick that up and live in that, and therefore our fruit is wonderful and it's Jesus-like. But we can also walk in our own simple-mindedness, right? And everything goes astray. I found I've had more peace over this last weekend. Those projects are not going the way I wanted to, but I'm choosing to walk at the side of Jesus. And I just go, I'm going to get them done. I'm going to keep working hard, but I'm going to put God first. And this is how the chapter ends. And I want to read this last bit to you. It says this, but all who listen to me, meaning God, all who listen to me will live in peace, untroubled by fear and harm. I love that. All who listen to me will live in peace, untroubled by fear of harm. That's good news for you and I, friends. That's great news. Well, if we just tune our ears and we just listen and we take hold of the fruit that God offers, we walk in his steps. We stop walking in our own. I read a commentary and it just said this: the path to secure freedom and peace is narrow, right? It's not easy, it's hard, but it will require listening to God's wisdom and exercising self-control. God gives us his wisdom and we exercise it in self-control. So may we this week choose the fruit that God offers, this fruit of wisdom, and walk and feast on that, and not the rotten fruit when we try to do our best ideas that usually, if they don't line up with God, are always going to fail us. So let's walk at the side of Jesus. Let him change our attitude and how we step into this world and into this life and into these relationships, and just see how things change. Hope you're encouraged, and we'll see you next time on the next Devo. Take care.